Advaita Vedanta is telling the relationship between Jiva, Ishvara, and the Jagat. Brahman is Satyam and Jagat is Mithya. Jiva and Brahman are essentially the same consciousness. The teaching of Advaita Vedanta is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahman alone is having absolute reality. The world is Mithya. Mithya means not non existence. Mithya means it's having existence based on the substratum which is Brahman.
Namaskar, Avinash Ji.
Namaste Deepak ji.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for taking the time. I mean, we met before, and I think I've also seen you at the Arsha Vidya
Yeah,
Gurukulam and Aikati, though we have not properly introduced. But thank you for taking the time. I think we will learn a lot from your experience in this episode.
it's a pleasure talking to you.
Perfect. But before we start, Avinash Ji, could you just give a brief background of who you have been and what your journey has been till now?
Okay. The spiritual journey had been long and pleasant. I had the Purna Asirvadam of Puji Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Paramarthananda. I was fortunate to have Shastra Kripa, Ishvara Kripa, Guru Kripa, and Atma Kripa. In 1985, at the age of 24, I became a chartered accountant. I started reading the books of Swami Sivananda of Divine Life Society, Rishikesh. Though I was reading the books on Vedanta for the first time in this birth, I felt familiar with the Mahavakyas, Tattvamasi, and Aham Brahmasmi. I believe that I have studied Vedanta in my previous births. I read books of Sri Ramakrishna Paramamsa, Swami Vivekananda. Then I went on a pilgrimage to Kolkata, Varanasi, Haridwar, and Rishikesh. In 1994, at the age of 33, I visited Arsha Vidya Gurukulam with my wife Ponmani. Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati was giving a talk on Bhagavad Gita. I was at once convinced that he was the Guru I was looking for. That was the turning point in my life. Thereafter, for several years, I and my wife attended regularly Sunday classes at Anekati Gurukulam. In 1994, I attended a spiritual camp conducted by Swami Paramarthananda, a senior disciple of Pujya Swamiji, at Swami Dayananda Ashram, Rishikesh. The goal of life and the means to achieve it became clear to me. In 1995, a long term Vedanta course started at Anekati. Pujya Swamiji told me and my wife, "For both of you, this is the last birth. You don't have children." In the Shastras, it's mentioned that those whose birth is the last one will not have children. You may join this long term course. But I was not mentally prepared to leave my career and join the long term course. For more than 2 decades, every Sunday, I and my wife have visited Anekati Gurukulam, attend the classes, and met Pujya Swamiji. With Swamiji, we were blessed to have many personal and spiritual discussions. We have attended various spiritual camps of Swamiji and his senior disciples at Anekati and Rishikesh. From 2009, I have been writing articles in the Gurukulam's Arsha Vidya newsletter. So far, I have written more than 220 articles on spiritual topics. Swamiji had guided me in this endeavor. Finally, I decided in 2014 to join the long term course. So, from 2014 to 2017, I and my wife did a long term Vedanta and Sanskrit course at Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, Anaikatti. In 2014, I founded a charitable trust named Arsha Avinash Foundation. Swamiji had approved the name and the objects of the trust. Then Swamiji launched the website www.arshaavinash.in during 2014. From this website, books on Vedanta, especially of Swami Paramarthananda, and Sanskrit grammar books, especially of Brahmacharini Medha Michika, can be downloaded free. So far, the website had been visited by more than 12,20,000 visitors from 175 countries and 7,000 cities. It's all Guru's grace. Thanks to my Gurus.
So, Avinash
In
Ji, till 2014, you were still a practicing chartered accountant?
Yeah, even now I'm a practicing chartered accountant,
Okay.
but I do very less time uh, practicing as a chartered accountant. Most of my time I dedicate for Arsha Avinash Foundation's website and classes. In 2015, after Swamiji's Mahasamadhi, I wrote a brief biography of Pujya Swamiji in English. It has been translated into many Indian languages and foreign languages. This book is given as a Yajna Prasad in many of Swamiji's students' camps. We are conducting weekly Vedanta classes from 2019. I believe that my inclination to Vedanta is due to samskaras from previous births. I can tell with a sense of satisfaction that I have achieved the goal promised by Vedanta in this birth.
Avinashi, moving to the main topic. So, for a beginner,
Uh,
what is Advaita Vedanta? How should one understand Advaita Vedanta? Somebody who has never ever had any introduction to the topic.
Advaita Vedanta is telling the relationship between Jiva, Ishvara, and the Jagat. Brahman is Satyam and Jagat is Mithya. Jiva and Brahman are essentially the same consciousness. The teaching of Advaita Vedanta is Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahman alone is having absolute reality. The world is Mithya. Mithya means not non existence. Mithya means it's having existence based on the substratum which is Brahman. Jivatma and Brahma and Paramatma are essentially the same consciousness. The aim and purpose of human life is to know one's true self. If one sincerely pursues this goal, it's very much achievable in this goal. In this, the goal can be achieved in this life. He can be a beginner in this life, but still he will be able to achieve the final end promised by Vedanta. If one has embarked on this journey and put less efforts also, he will achieve this goal, but maybe in a later life.
Hmm.
For the beginner, karma yoga is prescribed. One should do his duty as an offering to Ishvara. One should accept both favorable and unfavorable result as a prasada from Ishvara. The promise to the beginner is that he will have an attitude of equanimity about the outcome of the efforts. His main aim is spiritual progress, and material progress is only a secondary aim. Whatever be the result of his action, he will definitely have spiritual progress. He will have a relatively happy, contented, peaceful, and stress free life. So, this is the assurance from Vedanta.
So, Avinashi, we'll move on to, I think, when you teach Vedanta and when
Mm,
you introduce it as you did, there would
yeah,
be a lot of questions which would come
yeah,
from your students.
yeah.
Are there any common questions which keep on repeating, which you would like to share, and maybe the answers as well?
The most common question is how to eliminate desires. Desire is the Icha Shakti given by Ishvara to individuals. Therefore, desires need not be eliminated. Only the desire should be converted as preferences or non binding desires. We can have any number of preferences or non binding desires.
How should one understand desires, Avinashi? I mean, everything we do in this world is a desire. How should one understand which desires to keep, which to
Yeah.
strengthen, which to weaken?
Whatever desire is within dharma, they can pursue that desire. Whatever is not within dharma, they should not pursue. Will come in the mind. We don't have any control over the thoughts arising in the mind,
Hmm.
but still, uh, making it into action is only in our hands. So at that time, we have to use our discrimination and say, "Stop! I
Hmm.
am not going to pursue this desire." People ask how to go to thoughtless state. During deep sleep, every day we go to thoughtless state. In
Hmm.
Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it's mentioned that the last step in yoga is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is a thoughtless state. Vedanta says you need not go to the thoughtless state. The last step in Vedanta is abiding in the knowledge Aham Brahmasmi.
One thing, Avinashi, which often comes up for anybody who's on the spiritual path
Yeah.
is is to see this good people, or what we think are good people, are suffering, whereas people who you might say, I don't know, you could call politicians or somebody else who you think are not doing the right work, they seem to be
Yeah.
prospering.
Yeah.
How does one reconcile with this fact of the world?
It is due to prarabdha karma. We only know what the person is doing in this life. but we don't know what he has done in the earlier births. So Ishvara's order is perfect. He knows what good karmas and bad karmas should be exhausted in the current life. So he allows prarabdha karma accordingly. So there is divine justice. We may not be able to know the big picture. Only Ishvara knows the big picture, and divine justice is definitely there.
One thing which again comes up when we talk of Advaita Vedanta, or in
Mm.
fact any knowledge based tradition, is that the objective is said to be that only Brahma Gyanam can give you moksha.
Yeah,
What does one mean by that? And because there are various other paths
yeah,
which are prescribed, so why only Brahm Gyanam is the one which will give us moksha?
right. There is a popular misconception that karma yoga, bhakti, nama sankirtana, or meditation can give moksha. All the above are sadhanas which are definitely helpful and helps one to prepare for getting a concentrated mind, prepared mind. All the Upanishads say the truth that moksha can be gained only through Brahmajnanam. The sadhanas can be many so that we can get a prepared mind, but the final moksha is possible only through Brahmajnanam, and that too it should be through Vedanta Shastra study under the guidance of a traditional guru.
Avinashi, I was actually having a conversation with somebody else and
Mm,
who was not from India,
mm,
and he asked this question, which I'll put to you, which was,
mm,
I mean, it was a two-part question. One is,
mm.
why do Hindus worship so many gods?
Right.
And also this thing about idol worship.
Yeah.
So, how does one understand both of these parts?
Hindus don't worship gods. Hindus don't even worship one god. Hindus worship the only God. That only God is invoked in various names and forms. We have names Ganesha, Siva, Sakti, Kartigeyan, Vishnu, and Surya. But the ultimate God is Nirguna Brahman, who is formless. Nobody in the world worships an idol. We invoke God in or in a murti or an idol and worship God through that murti. It is similar to saluting the national flag. We don't salute the cloth. We salute the nation through the national flag. Similarly, we worship God through the murti.
Something Avinash, you mentioned in the beginning also, that even before entering the tradition, the Mahavakyas somehow made sense to you.
Yeah.
Uh, so, can one experience Brahman? I mean, how does this work? How does one know where, which, I mean, what part of the journey he or she is in? Can one experience it? How does one know?
In Kena Upanishads, it is clearly mentioned that Brahman is the subject and not the object. So, Brahman is not an object to be experienced. Brahman is the subject. Who is the experiencer? So, I am that Brahman.
So it's always the subject. It is never the
Yeah.
object,
Yeah.
right? And uh, we talked about only Brahmagyanam can
Mm.
lead to moksha.
Yeah.
But is this happening after death, or when is this transition happening?
According to Advaita Vedanta, moksha is my true nature. It has to be understood by the study of Vedanta. Moksha is the highest spiritual goal and it can be attained in this body and in this birth itself. It's a growing clarity. One person understands Aham Brahmasmi, but there is a growing clarity. At one point of time, he will be able to let go the world. So that is the point we can say that he has got moksha.
And once they attain complete clarity, there is no going back.
Yes, the once it happens, that's it. They have made
Hmm.
it in this life. The purpose of this life has been achieved by them.
And when we say the term, Avinashi,
Mm,
all that is here is Ishvara.
mm.
How do we understand it, especially in the context of Brahman and Moksha and Brahmgyanam? What does this mean?
For a clay pot, the potter is the intelligent cause and clay is the material cause. The pot is nothing but its cause, the clay. When we see the pot, we see the clay. Isvara is the material cause and intelligent cause of this creation. So this creation is nothing but its cause, Isvara. Therefore, all that is here is Ishvara. For a clay pot, you can easily say, yeah, yeah, It's only clay. But when we see the big universe, it's difficult to say, yeah, all that is here is Ishvara. But over a period of time, it will happen. It is called Vishwarupa Ishvara.
And one thing you mentioned in the beginning also, that for a beginner, karma yoga is prescribed.
Yeah.
How does one understand what is karma yoga?
Karma Yoga is a change of attitude while doing the action. The action is done with Iswararpana Buddhi. The result is accepted with Prasada Buddhi. Just like we offer flower to Ishvara, we can offer our action to Ishvara. We have a choice while doing action. When we visit a temple, we accept whatever we get as prasada, whether it is vibhuti, kunkumam, or laddu. We don't have a choice when it comes to the result of our action. We accept the result of our action as a prasada from Ishvara with equanimity. So this change of attitude is called karma yoga.
One thing, Avinashi, is when we talk of different traditions,
Mm,
it is thought that Advaita Vedanta is a knowledge based tradition. So
yeah,
even when you do Shavana, Manana, Nididhyasana,
right,
there is the core aspect or the initial aspects are Shavana and Manana. So
correct.
what is the role of meditation in this tradition, for the
Okay,
seeker as well as for the teacher? Where does meditation fit in?
okay. Initially, the meditation is done to get concentration power and focus of the mind. After Vedanta study, meditation is called Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is done to get rid of habitual wrong thinking. The habitual wrong thinking is I am this body, I am this mind. So this is the wrong thinking, which has to be changed, and you have to think I am Brahman, I am Atma. The truth of the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, is repeatedly contemplated. The initial meditation is to gain concentration power, which helps in Vedanta study. The later meditation is to own up I am Brahman.
And for a beginner, could you just give some practical outline of how meditation works, or what would be the steps for meditation?
Okay. There are four steps in the preparatory meditation, and the fifth step is Vedantic meditation. The preparatory meditation, the first one is relaxation meditation. First, sit in a comfortable posture, gently close your eyes, relax every part of the body from head to toe. Observe the breathing. If we do this, the body will be relaxed and mind will be relaxed. The second step is concentration meditation. Mentally visualize your Ishta Devata and perform puja mentally. Offer a few flowers, chant a devotional song in any language. Then mentally chant 18 times a mantra on your Ishta Devata. Your mind will get focused and the concentration power of your mind will increase if you do this. The third step is expansion meditation. What all we see is Ishvara. We call this Vishwarupa Ishvara. You may imagine that you are sitting on the seashore of an ocean. You can see the sky, stars, moon. Mentally, you can see the earth, mountains. You can mentally see the sunrise, sunset, flow of rivers, flight of birds. So this is Vishwarupa Ishvara. You see the entire cosmos as manifestation of Ishvara. So your mind will expand. Then the last step in preparatory meditation is value meditation. Take up any value like confidence, patience, compassion, satyam, etc. Look at yourself as endowed with that particular value. The value, owning up this value is important because then only the person will be fit to study Vedanta. Otherwise, the person can still study Vedanta and get academic knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi. But the final benefit, what we call the equanimity of the mind, emotional maturity, all those things can happen only if the person follows a life of values. The last step is Vedantic meditation. Vedantic meditation is done after doing a consistent and systematic study of Vedantic scriptures for a length of time under the guidance of a traditional guru. To assimilate and own up this Satyam, wisdom, you have to practice Vedantic meditation. First, dwell upon the truth of yourself as per Shastra. I am consciousness. Dwell upon the truth of Ishvara as per Shastra. Ishvara is consciousness. Dwell on the nature of the world, which includes your body and mind as per Shastra. The body and mind and the world, they are all mithya. They are based on the substratum that is Brahman. There will be common obstacles like sleep, distraction, and dullness during meditation. Sleep is the most common obstacle. We should not meditate when we are physically or mentally tired. Should give a strong auto suggestion that I'll be alert for the next 15 to 20 minutes while doing meditation. The second obstacle is distraction. We have to reduce our likes and dislikes. We have to give a strong auto suggestion that I have an appointment with myself. I have no other worldly roles now for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So the mind will be able to concentrate and it will be free from distraction. Dullness. You are not asleep or restless, but you feel you're dull. We have to write our feelings in a paper, read that and tear off. Then pray to Ishta Devata for support that you should succeed in this meditation. We should initially have short sessions of meditation for 15 to 20 minutes only. Then we have to reduce our likes and dislikes, which are the root cause of distraction and our disturbance. We should learn more and more about meditation and have a value for meditation. The mind enjoys doing what it values. Only if the mind values meditation, it will sit down quietly for 15 to 20 minutes and concentrate in the meditation.
So for a beginner, they should start with relaxation meditation.
Yeah.
Uh, and how long should they be on that step before they move on to the next step?
Initially, this thing can be practiced for 15 to 20 minutes. If a person sits down first, he should sit down for 15 to 20 minutes and do only the first step.
And then as he progresses,
Yeah.
then they add on other steps into it.
Yeah.
Avinashi, thank you
Well.
for laying out the entire roadmap. But
Yeah.
as we approach the end of the session, are
Mm,
there any shlokas which
yeah.
have helped you in your own personal journey which you would like to share?
Yeah. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, sloka 48 is my favorite sloka. Yogastakkuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddha siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. The meaning is Arjuna, remain steadfast in yoga, perform actions abandoning attachment and remaining same to success and failure. This evenness of mind is called yoga. If one attains samatvam or equanimity, then success and failures don't matter, which means he has succeeded in practicing karma yoga. Then he can move on to the last step, jnana yoga, and as he is already having a prepared mind, he will definitely succeed within a short time.
Avinash, just a quick
Mm,
question because you mentioned
yeah,
samatvam, and
yeah,
I mean, a lot of people feel that this maintaining an equanimous state
yeah,
is very difficult in professional life. So
yeah,
it is okay to do in spiritual life, but in professional life, you have to work in some other manner. As a practicing professional yourself, how
yeah,
have you been able to combine this aspect in your
yeah.
life?
In Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned Abhyasa. Abhyasa means repetition. Abhyasa and Vairagya. These are the two steps mentioned by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Abhyasa and Vairagya will help you to conquer any obstacle in your life. And whatever you want to practice through Abhyasa and Vairagya, you'll be able to overcome. Vairagya means having a focused mind and having less of worldly desires. Then Abhyasa is repeatedly studying the scriptures and repeatedly practicing the values. The person, whoever he may be, in whatever profession he may be, he may earn worldly wealth, but he cannot have the job satisfaction that he has done a contribution to the society unless he lives a life of values. So all these things we will get by study of Vedanta. A person, we can say, is a successful professional only if he is having a happy mind. That is possible only by Vedanta study or initially by living a life of karma yoga.
Right. Avinashi, thank you so much for explaining all of that. Uh, Before we end, could you also just give us throw some light on the on this Arsha Avinash Foundation which you run, and what is the objective and how are you
Okay.
doing it?
The goal of Arsha Avinash Foundation is propagation of Indian culture, Vedanta, and Sanskrit. We conduct free classes on Vedanta online and offline. We also conduct residential spiritual camps at Anekati Gurukulam, Coimbatore. We offer e-books free on Indian culture, Vedanta, and Sanskrit grammar. The website has been very popular and it has been visited by more than 12,20,000 visitors from 175 countries and 7,000 cities. We get letters daily, emails telling that how the website has been useful to them in their study of Sanskrit and their study of Vedanta. So we are happy that we have reasonably achieved the goal of Arsha Avinash Foundation in the propagation of Indian culture, Vedanta, and Sanskrit.
It's great work you're doing, Avinashi, because I remember somebody also referred me to that website when I was looking
Right.
for a book. And I think it's a great resource for anybody anybody who's
Yeah.
wanting to learn more, and they can just immediately at button clicks download information. Thank you, Avinashi, for taking the
Yeah.
time. It's been really
Yeah.
wonderful talking to you. And
Thank you very much. Namaste.
namaste.